7-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Farmer will put it up, throws over the middle. Pool, touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Another touchdown. Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure. This team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
Today. This one the other way. He gets no going back. That's the track. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it.
Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for Darby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
Foul on Arizona's number 13, Florida Frank Slaw, her 4th personal. Back in for Arizona. His first second ball.
There we go. What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Welcome into wonderful Thirsty Thursdays edition of getting your Sun Devil thirst quenched here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratanito at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. You guys know it. You love it. It's awesome. Yes. Check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also my IG, Michael.Caratanito.5. Yes, I know you guys know this as I remind you. I may have reminded you once or twice, throughout these shows. But yeah, I just had I just said Michael.Caratanito.5, a dot between first and last name, dot, and then a 5 at the end, and then bam, there you are on the IG. And of course, you guys, you know this. The YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, watch live, most definitely. And yes, Emily, go Devils. It was a tough one last night for the win. We'll get to it, but still a phenomenal season. Iowa State Ames, a tough place to play. No excuses. Coach Miller doesn't make him. Team doesn't make him. Iowa State outplayed him. I mean, I watched, full disclosure, I watched the second through fourth quarter. And yeah, I mean, Iowa State made plays. I mean, it was tough, but they'll learn from it. We all know that. So definitely down with that. But yes, go to YouTube and watch live, but subscribe, guys. All you got to do is easy. You know how to get to YouTube, because I tell you this because you might not know, but you will know now that you've missed a plethora of phenomenal comm reviews, coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, an athletic director who will be back on here soon. I know I haven't said it in a minute, but we'll be back on here soon. So yes, go check it out. But go to YouTube. That's all you got to do. Go to YouTube. You guys know how to get there. And you see my name, Michael Caratanito. My page is at you just go to YouTube and it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube, guys, and subscribe away. Again, as like I said, there's a ton there. And I am happy you're here now, and you Pitchfork Lunchers that have watched daily. Again, forks up, you rock. But for the rest of you, where have you been? Shame on you is what I'm going to say. But I got you. That's why when you go subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can binge watch season 1, keep watching season 3, binge watch season 2, keep watching season 3, and then you'll be all caught up. And again, when guests have come on and they have multiple appearances on, obviously, I'm not going to talk about the same thing. They would think I'm boring and wouldn't want to come on. And Sun Devils, we're innovative and not boring. So that being said, though, again, go there, subscribe. Again, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube, and subscribe away as we get going there. But again, like I said, you can catch up. So absolutely awesome to do that. So yes, last night it was a tough one for the women. I'm telling you, man, it was pretty tough for the women as they went to Iowa State, and on a coming off a very nice victory down in against that school down south in Tucson. And coming off a great victory there, as we know, and going to Ames, obviously not an easy place to play, but nonetheless, and having a talented team. And it was 90-64. Twas the final there last night, but which puts the team at 21-7 now. I know, a really terrible 21-7. Now, 21-7 overall, 8-7 in conference play. Okay, above 500. Take it. Want it? Yes. Do we want it to be better? Look, you don't even need me to say it. You talk to Coach Miller. You listen to Coach Miller for more, than 10 seconds, and I mean, again, obviously passion there, but they are 14-1 at home, 7-6 away. So look, to be that dominant at home, obviously, and then, you'd like to be at least 500, which they're a game above 500. So on the road and in conference. But I mean, it's I mean, you look at this team. Yeah, they started out on a 15-game win streak, which included the first two conference games, Colorado and Utah. And Colorado's come on. I mean, Colorado's been playing well. Not that they didn't have a good team, but I'm just saying that Colorado win, granted, these two don't play twice, but ASU and Colorado don't play twice. But that Colorado win, yeah, again, playing defense will get you far. But yeah, the first two, Colorado and Utah, and then they lost to BYU. They beat UCF. They lose to TCU, turn around and beat Kansas, lose to West Virginia. I mean, West Virginia held them with 43 points. So, and again, it was not out of the realm that they could win that game, but then losing a tough one at Cincinnati, 66-64. Then you come back, you turn around, you come back home, you beat Arizona. Then they lost to K-State, turn around, beat Oklahoma State, lose to Baylor by 3 in Waco, which, as you guys know, definitely could have been a win, but going toe-to-toe with Baylor. And then turn around, swept Utah, who, by the way, Utah, road win wise is just absolutely money. So the sweep of Utah, very, very huge. But they beat Utah, and then they turn around and beat that school down south, as we know, 75-69 in the overtime. And they go to Iowa State and lose 90-64. They have Houston coming up 2 p.m. on Saturday. It's the alumni game. So, yes, many alum will be in the house. They always show out for that. So that much I can definitely tell you. But yeah, I mean, last night, I mean, look at it. It's just one of those things where, I mean, you watch a game, I mean, and you know, the score by quarter, the score by quarter is one thing that, when you see the score by quarter, again, Iowa State definitely had turned it up. Martina Fantini actually fouled out of the game. But it was, I mean, like I said, when you see it, it's one of those things where it was 21-15 after one Iowa State. Iowa State put up another 21 in the second quarter, but ASU actually scored 17. So it was 42-32 at half. You figure, all right, we're within 10. But then the third quarter really separated it because Iowa State outscored them 27-13. That was at a better fourth quarter, 21-19. But Iowa State, outscored them all four quarters. And I mean, you look at it, but rebound wise, I mean, 39-32 in favor of Iowa State. The Devils, though, they shot 36% from the field. Iowa State shot 53% from the field. I know. And again, we're not going to go, obviously, by that box score, you're like, oh, but yeah, Iowa State 53% from field. They were 50% from three. And it's crazy because when Iowa State came here last year, they shot lights out from three because it was TCU and Iowa State both came here and shot just insane from three. But yeah, Iowa State 50%, 8-16 from three. Now where the Devils did get them, the Devils were 88% from the free throw line. The Devils were, by the way, the Devils were 29% from three, 6-21, a little bit tougher there. But 88% from the line, 14-16 for the Devils. Iowa State, yes, 22 attempts, but 16-22, they were at 73%. So yeah, I mean, and you look at free throw wise shooting. I mean, Gabby Elliott was 2 for 2. Marley Washington is 4 for 5. Amaya Williams, freshman, 5 for 5. Jaya Levette, 2 for 2. And Grice got, yes, that's right. Grice was 1 for 2. I was like, what am I missing? But yeah, Grice was 1 for 2. I mean, McKenna Brackens, again, 13. She didn't shoot 1 free throw, but she had 21 points, 10 of 13 from the field. Phenomenal. 1 for 1 from 3. So she had 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, just again, another solid game. Gabrielli had 9 points, struggled a little bit, 2 for 2 from the line, like I said, but 3 for 14 from the field. And yeah, some nights you can't get that going. But I mean, 9 points, like I said, Brackens had 14. Amaya Williams also had 9. Deb Davenport had 7. Carrera played 15 minutes and she did not score at all, had 2 rebounds. 4 fouls. She was in foul trouble early. So yes, but I mean, when you look at that and, you look at like I said, total rebounds, 39 and 32, they both had 10 offensive rebounds. And yes, coaches never love to give up offensive rebounds, but what have I been saying to you guys? As another side of that, if one team has 10 offensive rebounds, well, then guess what? You would hope that you can match that. So inevitably, that's in and of itself not bad. Second chance points, though. Iowa State at 15. The Devils had 11. Bench points, though. ASU outscored them 22-18. But point in the paints, that's where ASU, I was dreading getting to this watching the game because it was tough. But I mean, Iowa State, we know they can play down low. Or if you watch them, if you don't know, now you do know. But they can definitely play down low. And this is one of those games where the Devils actually led for 12 seconds and the game was tied for 59 seconds. So basically 111, but 38-45 in favor of Iowa State in time led. But you come back and you learn. I mean, the film against Iowa State, probably run into them in the Big 12 tournament. As we look at, and we'll look at Big 12 standings. Looking at the Big 12 standings, I should say. Looking at the Big 12 standings, the Devils, who, like I said, are, by the way, Olympic update, 8:42 in the second. Canada in the gold medal game is up 1-0 on the U.S. women, who have, they both obviously done really well. But second period, we got time. So again, I will give you more of the updates as we go along in the show. But when we look at the standings now, Devils are 8-7. Iowa State right about 9-6. So you think about that game last night, definitely for seeding, and then Devils swept Utah. So they're above them, but they're 8-7. I mean, you look at TCU, they're 12-3 in conference, and then you get Texas Tech, who's 11-4, as is West Virginia and Baylor. And then you have Oklahoma State, who the Devils did beat. They're 10-5, as is Colorado, who the Devils beat. And then Iowa State, 9-6, ASU and Utah and K-State, 8-7. And then you have both Kansas and BYU at 6-9. Cincinnati, like I said, that's why that was a tough one. They're 5-10 in conference play. It should be 4-11, and the Devils should be 9-6. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, doesn't matter, right? And we all know this. UCF 2-13, and then that team down south 2-13 as well, and then Houston at 1-14. So when you look at standings wise, the Devils are 8th. Well, like I said, you're still right there to get into 5th. It's going to take a little bit, obviously, and then ranked teams. I mean, you have TCU at 12, Baylor at 15, West Virginia at 19, and Texas Tech at 20. But you look, I mean, the Devils, like I said, Houston coming up, BYU, who they lost to, 71-62 in Provo. But again, it was foul shooting at the end. Nonetheless, they were behind trying to play catch up, and that game was winnable. So we'll see the adjustment. But they have Houston, who, like I said, dead at the bottom Saturday, 2 p.m. That's a game, again, you need to bounce back and win. And then BYU again at home on the 25th, and then Sunday, March 1st, they close out at ranked Texas Tech, to where again they win the last three. Like I was saying, obviously for the men yesterday, but you go 24-7, and then you're 11-7 in conference play. Yeah, I mean, I think that would already. I'm confident that puts them in the tournament from what again this conference has done. But I mean, yeah, you have that again with Houston and the BYU, who has, like I said, again struggled. I mean, 6-9 in conference, 17-10 overall, but just again, conference has been that roller coaster. Which, I mean, you look at TCU, they're 12-3, and yes, the Devils did lose to them, but they're 3 conference losses. They lost to Utah, who the Devils swept. They lost to Utah, and then Texas Tech. They lost to Utah by 10, 87-77, and that was at Utah. Then they lost to Texas Tech and in Lubbock by 2, 62-60. And then they lost to Colorado in Boulder by 1, but still 80-79. And two of those teams, granted, ASU did lose to TCU. We know that, 77-46. But when you're comparing of teams that they lost to, well, ASU beat Colorado. But you look at this now, they just crushed Houston, TCU, 72-50. But look now, they have Iowa State and then Cincinnati, and then they close out with Baylor. So again, that's a little, I mean, outside, I mean, Iowa State, Cincinnati, or Iowa State, Baylor, and Cincinnati in between. But I mean, that's pretty iron sharpening right there for TCU. But yeah, I mean, losing to Utah, like I said, and then Texas Tech and Colorado. So I mean, that's a again, and with what Utah's 8-7, just like the Devils. But the Devils have the tiebreaker because they swept them, and they're 17-10, and we're 21-7. So still, I mean, look, chance to go 24-7 and 11-7 in conference play. You get double digits wins, and like it can be done. But again, going to take a little bit of work, as we all know. But yeah, I mean, the free throw shooting last night, I was like, yeah, this is great. Get to the line more. But it was, Fantini fouled out, and then both Kayeda and Poa had 4. Poa was back, by the way. I forgot to mention that. She had 6 points. She was 2 or 3 from the field, both from the 3-point line. 6 points, 2 assists, 4 boards in 16 minutes. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, 88% from the free throw line, 14 turnovers up for the Devils. They did force 10. The Devils had 14 points off turnovers, and Iowa State at 15. But yeah, I mean, like I said, bench points in the paint, that was tough. Fast break points, ASU 9-0 on that. So I mean, there are things, but the overall of the game, there were quite, like I said, you shoot 22, you only shoot 36%. You can shoot 36% at home, and you're not coming away with a win. 36% in Ames, that's tough. But this team, look, they have bounced back. They have just fought all year. You get to come back in the gym, and yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful. Like I said, it's not a crazy long flight home, but it's a flight home, and now you have Houston Saturday. So today, and then they'll be back. I mean, I'm obviously probably watching film today, but and then tomorrow, Saturday, Houston. Like I said, 2 p.m. Absolutely awesome. As they will be taking on the Cougars, who, like I said, have struggled. They have won 1 conference game, and would you like to know who that's against? They're 1-14 in conference. Let's see. They lost their first. 9 conference games, and then they beat Cincinnati by 2, 72-70. And then they followed that. They followed that with 5 conference losses. They have lost to TCU twice, 90-45, and then, like I said, 72-50. But yeah, they're headed to the, like I said, Saturday. They have Saturday they have ASU in Tempe, and then Tuesday they have that school down south in Tucson. And then they close out at home against UCF. That was what Houston has. But again, a team that you should, and you're not going to overlook, and especially coming off a loss, you're back on your home court. You guys get what I'm saying. But I mean, a chance, like I said, you finish, like I said, you can win those last 3. It'll be challenging, Houston, BYU, and Texas Tech, who, I mean, Tech is 11-4 in conference, 24-4 overall. And Tech's 4 conference losses, by the way, are to K-State and BYU. They lost to them back-to-back, 65-59 and 73-61. And then they lost to Iowa State, 84-70, and then they lost to Oklahoma State, 75-65. Who, of course, as we know, the Devils have beat Oklahoma State, 74-69. So again, and it's not like, connect the dots. Well, if they beat them and they beat them, then they should beat them. I'm just saying that, again, they're only meeting with Texas Tech in Lubbock on March 1st, the last regular season final. Yeah, they'll close out the regular season in the Big 12. Well, women's regular season in the Big 12. But yeah, I mean, look, you got 2 home games that you can definitely win. BYU is going to be tough. We know they're going to bring their faithful, no matter what sport: volleyball, basketball, football, baseball, softball. They bring their faithful. Soccer, obviously, as we saw, Coach Winkworth. We got to give Coach Winkworth as thinking of the Olympics, but have a as World Cup coming up. But anyway, neither here nor there. So yes, women, that was a tough one last night, but we know this team is resilient and definitely is not going to put their heads in the sand, come back even more fiery. Also coming up this weekend, as you guys know, softball is hosting the Sun Devil Classic, because they started out with the Kachikawa and then the Littlewood Invitational, and now the Sun Devil Classic. Michigan, Friday, tomorrow at 3:30, and I will be there. Michigan is receiving votes. The Devils are ranked, as they are a wonderful 14-1 or 10-1. Sorry, giving them wins. Or, yeah, sorry, Coach. Not trying to assume. I know she wouldn't be thrilled about that. The Devils are 14-1 or 10-1. Sorry, 10-1. And again, after dropping that game 2-1 to Oklahoma, they are they have won 9 in a row. So hence the 10-1. So yeah, that Michigan tomorrow at 3:30. Again, Sun Devil Classic all weekend, and then at 6:15 they take on Southern Utah. They take on Southern Utah, and then on the 21st, on Saturday, they'll take on Michigan again, and that's at 3:30 p.m. And on Saturday night at 6:15, they will also take on New Mexico State. And then Sunday at 11:45 a.m., they close out with New Mexico State. So, yes, Sun Devil Classic. Get out there and support this team. I mean, they have been crushing it. I mean, Kenzie Brown, I mean, to overstate the obvious, but Kenzie Brown on the mound, Mika Lupi, what she's done, the two lefties that they have two lefties as well, but man, it is just, again, awesome to, I mean, like I said, Kenzie Brown, and then Issa Silva, the senior who transferred from back up here from that school down south. So just like Cam Valadares from soccer, they saw the light, like Coach Winkworth says. So I agree with Coach Winkworth, 150 million% there wholeheartedly. But yeah, I mean, a lefty in there, and then you have obviously Kenzie Brown. And then Mary Peyton Hodge, the freshman, who, again, from North Carolina, has come, we've seen her a little bit on the mound, which has been great. And then, like I said, Mika Lupi, who's just been absolutely awesome. Yeah, so those four. And Silva, the lefty, as well, along with Mary Peyton Hodge. But still, like I said, and the bats, and Tiare Ho Ching should be back this weekend, as Coach was mentioning. I actually didn't play that. You know what? We're going to hear from Coach after Saturday night. So I'm going to play that for you guys because I have it, and I know, again, it's been a crazy week. I haven't done it. But yes, they have that coming up. Baseball, St. John's will be here again, 6:35 tomorrow night. As they just whooped up on Connecticut 17-7 so far. 41 runs that this team has scored. 41 that they've scored, and 18 that they've given up. So pretty good margin there. Take that big plus. But yeah, St. John's, 6:35 tomorrow night at Phoenix Municipal Stadium. You guys know this. It is the Branded Bills beanie giveaway. So that is what they're going to have tomorrow. On ESPN Plus, and then Saturday again 105, Sunday at 105 as well. So, yeah, that in and of itself, very, very cool. Yeah, and so St. John's, like I said, that's who's up next for them. Hockey, as you guys know, they have their last home series, and again, looking for a big 6 points, which they need. We know it. We heard from Kyle Smolin and Tucker Ness the other day, but this team, and they're still fighting. They're battling, and a Coach Powers team is going to do that. So, and people say, well, you say that about a lot of coaches to an extent, sure, maybe, but the ones that actually, deliver and have the, I guess you could say the ear of the room and the beat of the room. It's again, awesome. So Omaha Friday night, 7 p.m., as you guys know, Saturday at 5 p.m. So, I mean, look, Saturday, you can hang out with some ASU baseball, ASU softball, women's hoops, hockey. I mean, you can take your pick. It's tough because, again, you're going to have your pick of the litter. But between hoops at 2, Hockey at 5, baseball at 105. Softball has 3 and 6:15, I said. So yeah, I'll get back to that. But and the crazy thing is water polo's on the road. They're in Northern California. So it's a bummer, but they've been home quite a bit, so which is awesome. But they're in Northern California, Stanford and San Jose State this weekend for water polo. So for Coach Party and our awesome team, Forks Up, let's go get them. But yeah, so we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to hear from Coach Bartlett, softball again this weekend, like I said. So we're going to hear from Coach Bartlett as they were wrapping up the Littlewood Classic in Tempe, of course. But we'll step aside and have more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up. All right, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I'm Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on XR, so known as the Twitter. You can see their show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. The IG, Michael.Caratino.5. The YouTube channel, which you need to watch live, but subscribe to. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube. And guys, I messed up in my notes. Yeah, you did hear from Coach Bartlett earlier this week. But no worries. What I meant to say is I have Ashley Mejia, who we are going to hear from after Littlewood, who again had a phenomenal, I think it was 8 or 9 pitch at bat, just absolutely epic. But yeah, her bat, the bat's just kind of like baseball. After that, bat's starting pretty hot early, and Coach Bloomquist has talked about this, but after the first weekend, after the Kachikawa Classic, Coach Bartlett talking about that. So we shall hear from Ashley Mejia. Coming up. But yeah, again, she's back, and it's one of those things where, like I said, getting Tiare Ho Ching back this weekend, but just in general, and this is a very, very, I don't want to say it, like just a team that flexible in the sense that like playing positions, and coach talked about that the other day, saying, how Jazz Murray Roberts, playing the infield, Brooklyn Ulrich, who's an infielder, redshirt senior, transferred from Marshall, went to Red Mountain High School, though, another local kid, doing the same thing. So like, yeah, I mean, plugging the pieces in, but yeah, I mean, it's again, very, very awesome. But yeah, I was going to say, to hear from Ashley Mejia, again, the sophomore outfielder from Corona, California, as you guys know. And she had a heck of a season last year. She had a heck of a year last year, and I mean, as a freshman, and it's just getting that experience, and Coach Barlow talking about him, being young and the trial by fire, and talented, yes, and just constantly kept growing, and you can just see it, yeah. So anyway, nonetheless, let's hear from Sun Devil outfielder Ashley Mejia after again had a heck of a weekend. And yeah, bats definitely they have awakened. Not with the help of Joe Boo, and you can Google that, kids. You can find out what Joe Boo's from. You'll get a good laugh out of it. So yes, but without further ado, here is Sun Devil outfielder Ashley Mejia.
Marco, you ready? Perfect. Phone's still go. So talk about your night. 3 hits, right?
Yes, so my night was very exciting. I think the most important thing that happened tonight was just having fun, relaxing at the plate. I feel like I didn't start out as strong as I wanted to, but just trusting in the plan. And Coach B talks a lot about keep swinging. It's going to happen for you. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. So I think tonight just really was my breakthrough in that, and just trusting in that process.
Actually, to piggyback off that, like you just asked Katie, I mean, obviously, and talk to you guys here at softball, talk baseball, like it's that line of like being prepared, but what's that line of like, okay, yes, you know what they do, but when does it also, like Coach says, Coach Lucas is famous for his ball, hit ball.
Yeah.
Like you're prepared, but like at some point, like you can't overthink it.
Yeah, honestly, just not doubting it, not overdoing it. You have to stick to one plan and trusting your abilities. A big thing for me is like, what if this, what if that? You can't think what if in this game because it's so fast. So just trust everything that you've seen, all the scouting that you've done, the hard work that you've done. And I think that's really what happened tonight, is just trusting in the process and not thinking about the what ifs.
And going back to, I want to say, Thursday night, you had like it was the at-bat, like you cut, like I think it was like a 9-pitch at-bat, 10 pitch, you fouled off and drew the walk. How much energy does that put through the clubhouse when you like somebody just grinds an at-bat, you get behind in the count, and then you draw that walk?
So much, because it's just a competitive at-bat. We talk a lot about being competitive, and that's the standard for this team. And I think a walk with a 9-pitch at-bat is amazing because you're so locked in. You get someone on base, like we have things called quabs, a quality at-bat. So things like that are so big. Getting runners on base is so big, and I think that's something that I really value this year, being okay with the walk, because it's the same thing as a hit or anything else. So yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off that, a lot of people like to say about this team that you guys have a rally aspect to you, and you guys can go 4 innings completely silent, the next one put up 11, put up 7.
Yeah.
What is it about that dugout, about this team?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm kind of like the cheerleader in the dugout. I think for this team, we're very big on energy. We run on energy, and as funny as it sounds, when we're down and we're not cheering and uplifting one another, I feel like the dugout's very dead and there's no momentum. I feel like when you're staying engaged and locked in the whole time, it just makes being here so much fun. And when you're having fun, you start to produce more runs. And when you start to produce more runs, you're winning. So I feel like being energized is a really big aspect for this team, and that's what gets us going. And being engaged is what gets us going.
And then in that sixth inning, you first came up and then set the table, and then came around again and then finished it off. How do you battle around? How do you lift everybody up, be that bat, and grind out a long inning?
Just not quitting, keep going. Like, yeah, I got on base my first time, second time, but we're not done yet. And I just knew that what the situation was asking of me, and just to stay calm. Like, even when people were scoring on us and stuff, it's just like, stay calm, be where your feet are. We're gonna win this game, one pitch at a time, type of thing. So yeah.
I know you said like before the season too, you're happy finally not to have to face your pitchers, but specifically, like, I was asking Coach about having two lefties on your team.
Yeah.
How frustrating is it facing lefties?
I would say it's very different, but it's preparing me for the season. Like, I'm so glad that we have lefties this year because it's a new eye, and I feel like very comfortable when I face other lefties now because we see it all the time in practice. When we face live, I'm just prepared. So yeah, it's really great to have lefties on the team.
And from a defensive standpoint too, how do you feel that? I mean, like I said, I know it's the second week, but even maybe from the end of last year where you guys were at through the fall through now, but defensively, how is this team growing?
Defensively, I just feel like we have so much depth, so much girls willing to work, willing to learn, and I just think this team is very talented. That's a lot of the big difference that I see from last year to this year. A lot of growth as well.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, Ashley Mahia right there. And, talking about the growth. And I had to ask her because, again, the weekend before, the 9-pitch at bat. But, yeah, I mean, something like that. And, yes, of course, everybody you want to get a hit. You play the game to get hits, but you also play the game to get on base. Like I used to have one of my favorite coaches say, like, why would you take your bat off your shoulder if they cannot find the strike zone? If they find the strike zone, then, again, you've done your prep. You're locked in. But, yeah, I mean, just drawing that and – as she said, facing the lefties, but man, it's just such, again, and you get that from Coach Bartlett too. I mean, just such an energy about, the team. I mean, you're playing. And yes, when you have a preseason All-American pitcher like Kenzie Brown back, and like Coach Bartlett said, I mean, last year saw how good she pitched coming back, having to battle back from injury, and yes, being healthy, but now like just being healthy, like, cannot wait to catch up with catch up with the softball team. But like Kenzie Brown, got to get Coach Bartlett on. Hopefully after this Sun Devil Classic, I'm going to schedule something and get her on the show. Because yes, Coach Bartlett, absolutely awesome. Played at Notre Dame, played professionally, coaching, where did she coach at? Ball State, and then she was an assistant at Texas. She was an assistant at Texas before she came here. And so now here and just getting this rolling and the energy she has, like I said, it's Coach is like, I'm, when Coach Dillingham said, like, I'm young, like, yeah, I would hope I have energy, but it's just, it's directing that, like, in that focused area, and, it's contagious on the team, but yeah, you're going to coach hard. And yeah, I think, all these coaches definitely have it in them to get to the players. So yes, but that again coming up soon. So very, very stoked. Again, seeing Coach Bartlett do all of this, absolutely awesome at Pitchfork Lunchers. And then, like I said, it's beach volleyball, by the way, getting going too. Tennis has a let's see. I can tell you. Let's see. Yeah, this weekend, Sun Devil women's tennis team heads to Tucson to wrap up non-conference play at, yes, it says it on University of Arizona's annual Red and Blue Invitational. Coach Jackson has them absolutely rocking as got to get out to the Whiteman Tennis Center and check it out. I mean, yeah, just look at tomorrow. So ASU, like, you have softball versus Michigan, 3:30. I know it's Friday, you might have to work. Hey, maybe about 1:30, 2 o'clock, you start, like, I don't know, you look a little bit pale. Do something to make yourself look a little bit pale. you got to go, and just make sure that, you don't post anything and you'll be good to go. Or just say, hey, I can only work till 3. Go to the Michigan game. That's 3:30 tomorrow. And then they play Southern Utah at 6:15. Baseball, like I said, 6:35. Hockey at 7 has Omaha. Lacrosse, by the way, Saturday. Oh, sorry, coach. I forgot to mention that. I should, and I had it it's in my notes right here. They take on Lindenwood Saturday at 12. At the Sun Devil, lacrosse stadium. But yeah, they take on Lindenwood at 12. So that's just another thing you could go check out lacrosse. And then at 2 p.m., look at that, because it'll wrap up by then. You can go to DFA, check out women's hoops, yeah, beach volleyball. Oh, well, that's at the GCU Beach Volleyball Stadium. They're taking on Colorado Mesa in the Canyon Classic. I mentioned beach volleyball getting going. But yeah, lacrosse at 12. And then women's tennis, like I said, we'll be taking on number 61 Denver, but that's again at the Arizona down there in Tucson. Baseball at 105, women's basketball at 2, softball at 3:30. So like I said, I mean, there is so much to do. There's no reason, Pitchfork Lunchers, for you to leave that area. Absolutely none. Absolutely no reason. And yes, like Emily said, as we love that, go Devils, 150 million% on that. But yeah, so much coming up. And again, hockey, he said, I'll be at softball tomorrow and hockey tomorrow night as well, with, dipped in updates from baseball. And then Sunday, definitely softball and baseball, because Sunday softball starts at 11:45, baseball doesn't start till 1:05. So again, full softball and then a good amount of the baseball. So yes, that is that, my friends. But yeah, I mean, just again, a lot going on. So, and then tonight's just kind of the calm before the storm. Tonight is the calm before the storm, as like I said, for baseball, it's tomorrow. And then, by the way, men's hoops, who again, back-to-back wins, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. They are at Baylor. They're at Baylor at 2 p.m. Again, here it'll be on ESPN2, and you can also listen on the Sun Devil Sports Network on 6:20 a.m. So yeah, that is also, they are at Baylor, looking for 3 in a row. It's going to be a challenge, but they play like the way they did the other night. There is no reason why they cannot beat Baylor, beat TCU, and beat Utah. And then you have the tough one against Kansas here, March 3rd, and then Iowa State. So that is absolutely awesomeness. Tuesday, yeah, this is, at least it's not a 9 p.m. game against Kansas, 7 p.m. game. And then, yeah, they close out March 7th, like I said, at, again, tough place to play in Iowa State. But look, I mean, they could go in with a 5-game win streak, which if they were to, they win the next 3, they would be 17-12, like I said, and back to 500 in conference play. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, I mean, look, they dug themselves, but we heard from Mo Odom, Santi Truett, and Pig Johnson. I mean, yeah, the dark, they dug themselves a little bit, even from Noah Houston, but they're fighting. Coach really has his team fighting, and yeah, can Coach Hurley put together a very talented team? Absolutely. I know everybody's tying this and that, but we're focusing on right now. Yes, it does come down to winning, and yes, putting yourself in the position to win, go to tournaments, understandably. But he can definitely coach, put together very talented teams, and this team has come together. And man, it is that one message, and that's what I love from this team. So forks up to that, my friends. Definite forks up to that. So hey, that's going to do it for today, though. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your Thirsty Thursday. And I mean, I know I'm like me, barely quenched your Sun Devil thirst, but you're going to be able to quench a lot of it this weekend. A lot going down in Tempe and Phoenix Community, in Tempe, but still get on out there, man. But tomorrow, on the show, might have a special guest again. Just a little keep it in mind there. Special guest tomorrow. But yes, nonetheless, have a phenomenal rest of your Thursday. And I will see you tomorrow. And yes, as you know, thanks to reigning back-to-back Big 12 champs women's volleyball, reminding me to always let you know this. It is #OurState. And yeah, for school down south, that's for you. As you know, that is to remind you. It is #OurState, but we just need to remind you. So thanks to women's volleyball for always reminding me to say that. And you guys know it. Go Devils, as always. And you know this. I will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. And as always, forks out.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levis swings it to Scatterbo. Scatterbo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Got to be with the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Shut this team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
Edwards pulls up and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.